Have you pondered on the question why you behave the way you do? Research has it that in some families they tend to go blind when they get to certain ages. Why twins studies have shown that certain twins have different personality. So these are questions that keeps the mind curious. So today we'll be talking about genetic influences on human behavior. Let's have it.
Have you ever wondered what truly makes you unique? It all starts with a secret code, invisible to the naked eye. This is the world of genetics. The study of how traits and characteristics are passed down through generations. Deep inside almost every cell of your body lies the nucleus, the control center that holds your biological secrets. Inside, we find chromosomes. Structured bundles that house the most famous molecule in all of science. DNA, it's the ultimate instruction manual, containing the complex blueprints for every single living thing on our planet. Specific segments of this DNA are known as genes. They are the units responsible for your specific characteristics. Whether it's the deep blue of your eyes, the texture of your hair, or how tall you grow, it's all written there.
Guys, have you pondered on the question why you behave the way you do? Psychology has it that X to Y. Every action has a causal effect. So today we'll be talking about the genetic influences on human behavior. To begin with, let's consider the concept genetics. Genetic influences on human behavior refers to the ways in which our DNA contributes to our personality, intelligence, emotions, temperament, mental health, and even the likelihood of certain behaviors. Genetics rarely determines behavior outrightly. Instead, it creates tendencies or predispositions that interact with environment, culture, and life experiences.
I'll be talking on heritability. Every living organism possesses a genetic blueprint, genotype, that determines what traits the organism will have, and these genes are inherited from their parents and passed down through generations. What is heritability? Heritability is defined as the degree to which variation in traits is determined by genetic factor rather than environmental factors. Cultural influences on gene. When we're talking about cultural influences on gene, we're diving into gene culture evolution. This is the idea that human cultures like our behavior, diet, upbringing, lifestyle, and technology actually create selection pressure, forcing our gene to adapt to the environment we built for ourselves.
Are you aware that genetics play a significant role in shaping human behaviors? I know you are, but hold that thought while I tell you about genetics and the behaviors influenced by genetics. Genes are units of heredity passed from parents to offspring, and these influence their personality traits as well as their psychological and behavioral characteristics. There are a number of behaviors influenced by genetics, but I'll be talking about two of them. The first one is intelligence. Research has it that intelligence has a substantial genetic component. Studies also show that cognitive abilities like memory, problem solving, and reasoning are partly inherited. The second one I'll be talking about is personality traits. Personality characteristics such as extroversion, introversion, and emotional stability are genetically influenced. Now, we'll move over to twins and adoption studies. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but let's go into that. Now, twin studies try to compare the monozygotic twins, which are the identical twins, and the fraternal twins, which are the dizygotic twins, to how they influence behavior. Now, the monozygotic twins, which are the identical twins, they develop from a single fertilized egg that splits into two. They share nearly 100% of their genes, and the differences between them are usually due to environmental factors.
Have you ever wondered whether intelligence comes from our genes or from our environment? Why people tend to learn faster, assimilate easier, and solve problems better than others? My name is Ezedimora Esther, and here with me is
Joma Amy Awili, and today we're here to explore and explain genetics of intelligence and learning.
What is intelligence? Intelligence refers to the ability to think, reason, and solve problems easily, while learning, on the other hand, refers to the process of acquiring knowledge and skills through experiences and education.
Intelligence and learning are influenced by genetic factors, but a single gene does not influence intelligence and learning. Rather, a combination of genes work together to influence intelligence and learning and how our brain develops and functions.
Research shows that intelligence is a genetic component, which means it is a polygenic trait. This means that intelligence can be influenced by many genes rather than a single gene.
Research carried out on twins and families shows that
My name is Magic Grace and I'll be talking on specific genes that are linked to behavior. Genes are units of heredity made up of DNA that carry biological instructions for the development and functioning of the human body, including brain. Behavior refers to the actions, reactions, thoughts, and emotional responses of individuals in different situations. Several specific genes have been linked to behavioral patterns. These include NPOP, monoamine oxidase A gene, which is involved in breaking down neurotransmitters and has been associated with aggression. DRD4, dopamine receptor gene, which affects dopamine reception and is linked to risk-taking and attention-related behaviors. The SLC6A4, serotonin transporter gene, which regulates serotonin transport and has been connected to anxiety, depression, and emotional sensitivity. And the COMT gene, which is the catechol movement transferase gene, which influences dopamine levels in the prefrontal cortex and is associated with decision making. Now, it's important to note that even though genes influence our behavior, our environment plays the most important role in shaping our characteristics and traits.
Genetics of mental health disorder. Genes significantly contribute to conditions such as 1. Anxiety, 30 to 40% heritable. Depression, 40 to 50% heritable. Bipolar, 50 to 60% heritable. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, 70 to 80% heritable. Schizophrenia, 70 to 80% heritable. Autism, 80 to 90% heritable. Not everyone with genetic risks develop the disorder. Environment determines whether the risk becomes a reality.